What's up, everybody? It's your favorite Hulkbuster's favorite nerd. Today we are looking at Iron Man Hulkbuster armor from the Avengers Wave Build-A-Figure. So let's put them together. Here's the torso, just as a heads up. This ball peg in there obviously is for articulation, but it's very stiff, and I think with the amount of weight that's going to be on top of it, it's gonna have a lot of torque, and you might be able to snap this peg. So be mindful of that. And here's the front. Here is his front. So we'll take this back. And we'll put that together. And there you go. Yeah, and I can already tell you, it doesn't work quite well. One leg, two leg, one arm, two arm, and head. Head's a little weird design, right? Alright, so let's talk about this big mamma jamma. We'll get up close and personal on her. Head, as you saw, is on that ball hinge. You don't really get to utilize much of the hinge. It's like a little dance. But it does work. And they sculpted all that out so it could get an increased range of motion, but it does look a little goofy from underneath, but it's not a big deal, and I'd rather have the articulation, I think, so I think it was a good choice. The gold is done in a sharp manner, but it could have used a second coat. I'm going to get a little screwdriver to try to tell you what there's a couple places like around the seams and corners of the armor where it just gets a little thin, and then you can still see the red underneath there, but the black outline looks good, and the gold does look good overall. And it's the same thing throughout. So we're going to talk about it as we go. The gold in here looks good. That gold looks good. But all of this, especially on the corners there, could have used a second coat. Same thing throughout. On the back, this white looks really good on top of the gold. So no complaints there. And a lot of this stuff looks really good and sharp. So it's well done. Now, articulation-wise, it's got that joint we were talking about, so you don't really get to utilize much of it. You do get the forward and back fairly well. The side to side, it doesn't really want to go, and I don't want to break the stem because then you're just done. So he'll be standing straight forward for me. Shoulders are on ball hinges, soft ratchets forward and back. Articulation gets you all the way up to there. These things don't move, but the way that they're sculpted, it doesn't really pose a problem. Bicep swivels right there, and then the elbow is ratcheted and gets you to there, but big bulky figure like this, I'm okay with it. Yeah, all in all, fairly well. Different color plastic there, the paint par for the course as far as the gold on red there. And moving down to the forearm, once again, fair amount of paint. Silver there, which looks really sharp. The gold looks good. This is a gold piece of plastic here, but it does match the gold paint fairly well, so no issues there. The hands are sculpted well. They're the only thing that's not painted, and they are on a ball hinge, and it's pretty good. You get all the way down to there, all the way up to there. I wouldn't have expected that wide of a range. And then the ratcheted swivel is in there as well. Same for the other side, and it's a fist hand as well. So getting down to the hips, they're on ball hinges. You get out to there, which is good. The ankle rocker will just jump to there is great. So it encompasses for all of that. Look how flat those feet are, girl. And you get forward to there, no problem, and all the way back. Thigh swivel built in where it connects. Gold is painted well. The silver is painted well. It's well done. Gray piece of plastic there with the little detailings in there, which is just a nice touch. And that's a double jointed knee. This little figure eight kind of thing looks a little strange to me, but it's not a deal breaker by any stretch of the imagination. It is a little weird looking, but I think it may have been a necessary evil, so I'm definitely good with it. And the single joint looks great too, so no issues. Silver paint's done well in there, as is the gold paint. Actually, that might be a different piece of plastic in there. Either way, it has a white ring of paint in there, and then the gold paint looks pretty good. Little touch and go there down at the bottom. Par for the course of the gold paint there. Tilt to there and up to there, and then it rocks all the way. Nice sculpting at the bottom of the feet too. Not something you'd expect, but it's there. If they painted it, it would have really blew my mind, given the company and the history with paint. And same for the other side. So that's him in a nutshell. There he is with Hulk. Which kind of just furthers my, if you remember, I think I said that I felt like Hulk was a little small, and I feel like he's a little small here as well. Just kind of all around. But the select Hulk, if I had him handy, I would show you him, and I'm sure that's a better fit. Final thoughts wise, on the negative end, that ball pegged stem is really poorly thought out. This could have been pretty phenomenal had they put a decent joint in there that moved around a little bit smoother. I think that little bit of extra articulation would have put this thing through the edge, but that's really the only complaint I have about it. Yeah, they could have double coated the paint in some areas, but I'll take the thinner paint clean than the sloppier paint thick any day of the week. And I think the paint looks great on this guy. That is, until I look at customizers. Yeah, it looks good. Looks good. Let me see what customs are out there. Real quick, I did want to say this before I moved on to the positives. I really do wish that the red was a metallic as opposed to the swirl to make it look metallic. I wish it was just a metallic. It would have been nice if the gold was as well, but the red is a lot more noticeable not being, and does make it look a lot more toyish. All in all, though, it is great. It's nice because I'm not entirely enthused with the rest of the set, but the Build-A-Figure payoff was great. I was actually planning on selling this Build-A-Figure, and I really, really like him, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to part with him. He does work well, and this I kind of feel like is what this line should be doing, making figures of this size to fill out those huge, bulky characters in your collection. Toy Biz used to do it, and Hasbro's kind of gotten away from it. I mean, one of them was Puck, for goodness sakes, but it's really well done overall. It's good paint. The articulation is there, with the exception of that waist joint that's even accounted for, just not executed well. And it's a good size. It's good pieces. It's a good sculpt. I think it's what you want from a Hulkbuster. And for the price, what is it, $100 pretty much after you buy it, and you get $100 with him plus all the other figures. It's obviously not as good as these super high-end collector grade Hulkbusters, but it ain't bad. And on a shelf, with a few Avengers standing in front of them, I'm not sure you'd be able to tell the difference from a distance. It's a really well done unit, and that's a credit to Hasbro. That's not taking away from what these other fancy companies have done. I applaud their efforts. I'm just saying that this is a really good unit, definitely worth the money if you like the members of the other set. If you don't, it might be worth trying to track this guy down the secondary market. It might pay off for you. So yeah, I recommend it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.